Hi everyone and welcome to Deadline Dilemmas. Praz is with me today. Praz, how you doing?
I'm in a bad mood, man. I'm in a bad mood. Not
Oh,
because of the wild card. I'm sure we'll talk about the wild card, but I'm in a bad mood because Manchester United have just played, and it's always actually I don't want to talk about Manchester United. I'm doing fine, Mo. How are you doing?
no, we need to talk about Manchester United. What is actually happening at your club?
Nothing. I have no words. Like
You was 2-0 up, then you lost it to 2-2, then it was 3-2, then the red card, and then Slabhead. What, did he save Ten Hag's job?
no, I think it's too late. I think it's a matter of time. It might even be tomorrow. Like I was DMing with Andy. Let's talk that when it was 3-2 that it'll be announced. I thought it will be announced tomorrow. But now that it's 3-all, maybe it's announced over the international break instead. But it's going to happen. It's inevitable now.
Honestly, I was recording another video, Praz, and at the time I was thinking, he's going to be gone. When I saw 3-2 and I thought he's gone. But I think
Mm.
this might salvage it, you know. I think this might salvage. He might stay a little bit longer. Let's just say that.
No, no. It's a matter of days, not weeks.
Well, let's move on from one depressing conversation for you to another one for both of us. Our wildcard debrief. I know normally in Deadline Dilemmas we always look forward, but we do need to discuss what happened with our wildcards last week. So both of us were on wildcard.
Yeah,
How did yours go, Press?
not great. but but honestly, the thing is that I've had to do this therapy on a couple of previous videos, but I just want people to calm down. It's okay. Like you don't make wildcard for a week. There will be weeks when things that you predict, like we go with probability, right? When we look at
Yeah,
Rob T's graphics every week, or we look at expected points, there's always probability associated with certain events. We look at clean sheet odds. Arsenal were 60+% clean sheet odds. 60+% is not 100%, so they
yeah.
concede. Haaland was expected to score 0.79 goals. Well, there was still a 0.21% chance that he blanks, and he blanked. So we were in that simulation where basically everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. But what I'll say is it was 1 week things went wrong.
Yeah.
You know what can go wrong with your wildcard team? You pick some players and they get dropped, two others get injured, and suddenly it's like a house on fire. Now the positive thing is it doesn't feel like a house on fire. You look at our bus teams, they're like absolutely fantastic.
Totally agree. But you could say though, Praz, we still need to say, did we miss? Is it so our wild cards, which we're going to get into our teams, obviously our bus teams, and look forward. But did we miss something with the Palmer, or was it something that was unpredictable or one-off? We both went for Saka, and I
Yeah.
think a lot of people did, and I think it was justifiable when you look at the fixtures, Arsenal superior team, and the predicted points as well, like you said. But did we miss something here? With
No,
say no, you don't think so.
no,
You don't
no.
think we
I don't
missed
fucking
something here?
regret. I had a drop. Look, let's work backwards. Picking Haaland, no
Yeah,
brainer. He's got
yeah,
great fixtures. He's the best captain from now on for the next 4 game weeks. Picking Saka, home to Leicester, home to Southampton. For me, no brainer. So it's a question of were you going to pick Palmer in addition? And one of the drafts that I had reviewed in one of my videos in The Wire was it included Saka, Haaland, and Palmer. So if you were looking at that setup, then sure, maybe you can do that. The moment João Pedro got injured and basically I wanted a deeper squad, that was not an option for me anymore. Like I had to go for a DCL type of a striker who's point 4, point 0.5 more expensive. Fitting in then a Palmer, a Saka, and a Haaland was not so viable, and I'm fine with it because it's okay. It's not like Palmer's going to score 20 points every week now for the next 4 weeks. Buy him in 2 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever.
well, you say that, Praz, but when you look at his stats and his numbers, I even after this I had to go back and check myself to look at his numbers. So his double-digit returns, even from last season, are ridiculous. Like he is actually becoming that player. At one stage, I thought it's just a bit of a phase. Now, I'm not saying every week he's going to score 4 goals. Come on, I think that was the first time it's ever been done in the first half. But when you compare him to Saka, his double-digit returns is superior. And when you compare him to all the players in the Premier League or even in Europe, his returns are just so good. He's involved in everything, which is good for Chelsea. And recently they've turned it around. I'm not saying to you they're an elite team, but their attack looks a bit more stable now. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking, maybe for you, for example, all that would have involved is you going, I think, to drop. Was it the difference of making your goalkeeper a bit cheaper and
No,
going
no,
instead of
no. A
Saka?
lot
No?
more. A lot more. I was never going to not go Saka. Like now, after this week,
Yeah.
I'm open to losing Saka again because no, we shouldn't be holding the premiums, especially the premiums under Haaland, like season keepers. I think we should be rotating them. After this week, Palmer is playing you guys
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
Who do you think is winning in Anfield? Liverpool or Chelsea?
I think we win that game, but
So then,
Palmer could still return though. Like he's the type of player now. He's becoming that. I know you're gonna say the probability and stuff, Press. Of course, we're gonna look into that, and I'm sure as that gets closer, that fixture will look horrible. And Liverpool's not conceding many goals, but
you've
the
conceded
more I
two
look into,
goals in the
yeah,
league.
yeah. But then again, the teams we've played have been pretty nice so far, Press. So I don't.
Fine.
I'm
I
trying to
mean, I'm not.
justify it
I'm
a
not
little bit
saying
as
you're going to
well.
keep a
Yeah,
clean sheet against
yeah,
Chelsea,
yeah, yeah.
but are you going to concede three?
No,
I
no
don't think
chance.
so.
Nah,
So
nah,
you
no
have to
chance.
basically
Nah.
say next week Saka away to Bournemouth, Palmer away to Liverpool. I still prefer Saka. After that, if you want to move from Saka to Palmer, do that. There's a window to do it
Yeah,
next week. I would not do it for the next 2 weeks. And that's when you were so desperate to do it. Like I would actually say, even before that, you could go for a Foden or even a Son, and then get your Palmer in due course. Like nothing. One information, one free game has not changed the information. Now, if Chelsea beat you guys,
yeah.
then I think there's a little bit of panic that, okay, Chelsea is way better than we thought. And this is a talisman in a team which is way better than we thought. Then I think we need to be a little bit more knee jerky, but not after one Brighton game.
What if he scores this week 2 goals and an assist and bonus points? Is that going to play? Or it doesn't matter. Wait till after Liverpool because he's not
After
going to do
Liverpool.
that at Anfield.
Ideally, I want to wait till after Arsenal, which is in game week 11. So ideally, I want to get him game week 12. But yes, if he keeps returning, I might get tempted after Liverpool. I'm not buying him before Liverpool. No chance.
And he actually hit post and got a goal disallowed, Prize. It
I
could have been
watched.
even. You saw for yourself, yeah.
Yes, but he also then got a penalty and he also scored a free kick. Those are also, events
Yeah,
that don't happen in every single game.
yeah,
Look, I get it. I get it. There's a FOMO around it. But all I'm trying to say is next week he could blank and Saka scores a brace, and then suddenly it doesn't work like that. You have to play the fixtures to an extent.
yeah. Now I'm in agreement, but I thought it was worth discussing because he was the talk of last game week. Naturally, if you score 4 goals and do what he done, it did make us look and not consider, but just have to think about why have we got Saka instead of Palmer? Like the fixtures were too good
Did
to
you
be
watch
true,
the
but
Arsenal game? Did you watch what Saka did
not
as well?
all of it. No, I saw only highlights, not the full match.
Yeah, but Saka could have had 3 assists.
Yeah,
Like he was very close to return. There was reason why he was in the bonus because he created several big chances. Now, some of them were off corners. So I'm not saying Saka is a better pick than Palmer. All I'm
yeah,
saying is in different phases, when Saka has 2 home games, there's only 3 promoted teams in the league. You get a run where he has home games against 2 of those consecutively.
yeah.
You go Saka, but you don't have to marry Saka. Sell him after 2-3 weeks if you're not happy, and then get Palmer.
I think this discussion was more prominent mainly because not because of what Palmer achieved, more because of what happened with Saka. The bonus points, no bonus points, the assist, the no assist. And what's your take on that as well, Praz? This bonus point nonsense, I think it's got to stop. I'm sure it's got to be done on the day. You can't sleep one night and see your team score. Then the next day you look and you're down. Like, one of my friends, Captain Saka, he thought he had the win on us Holland captains. He was laughing at me because he thought he got the assist. But then it got turned away again. So I don't know.
There's nothing you can do. FPL is not going to change. You can
Yeah.
change. Stop looking at your scores on Saturday. That's all I would say.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. I mean, I didn't because I could see my team was doomed.
Especially
But he
rank.
was the he
Yeah.
he was excited because he thought finally Haaland blanked and he's capitalized on it. And then they took away the points the day after or something. So
It's frustrating. I'm not going to deny that. It is frustrating if that happens. And it's going to happen more. They've now said the bonus points can change until the last match. They could have even
yeah,
changed it on Monday.
yeah, I know. Can you imagine that?
I know.
3 days out, it doesn't sit right with me, Price. I know what you're saying. It is what it is, and we shouldn't. Don't be checking. I mean, there are some that go into live FPL after every game, but you
In
shouldn't
the
be
middle
doing
of
that.
every game, like a yellow card, they'll go. Like that needs to stop.
Yeah, I'm not that hardcore either. I've seen some before posting like doing that, and I'm like, wow, it's eager. But anyway, each to their own. Prize. Let's get into our teams. Let's have a look at my bus team. So this is how I'm set up. Sales, I changed for mine. I remember if we was discussing, I had 2 different drafts, and believe it or not, of all the planning, all the research, last minute, Prize, I changed my mind. I didn't fancy Flecken, even though he's got better fixtures. I thought at that price range, who am I going to get? I couldn't get. I think my budget wasn't the best. I didn't go for Sanchez. So I thought I'm going to go for Sales, and I went for it in the end. And guess what? His clean sheet was wiped out by Fulham, which is quite frustrating, but it is what it is. Trent, It was a 1-pointer, which is horrible for a premium defender like him. Then I've got Lewis and Gabriel. So this week the defense actually looks good as long as they're all starting. So Lewis is a bit of contention playing midweek Champions League.
Well,
Trent,
according to people, Chelsea is going to score minus points because Chelsea will score 6 goals again, right?
well, I'm hoping he saves one of Palmer's penalties, Praz. That's the only hope for me.
That definitely isn't happening. Palmer never misses.
What
But,
with
maybe he gets save points.
exactly? Yeah, it's not looking. You know what? When I looked at my team, I don't even I don't count Sills this week, so I'm playing with 10 men. But the rest of the defense, Trent, Lewis, Gabriel, I'm pretty confident. Arsenal, great performance against PSG midweek. Trust the luck. They conceded 2 against Leicester, which are relegation candidates, and then against heavyweight PSG, they kept a clean sheet, and it was an
Of
excellent
course they did.
performance.
Of course they
Standard,
did.
isn't it? It shows you the focus when it's there, and clearly they were on it midweek. So
Also, there were free goals, right? The ones they conceded against
yeah,
Leicester.
yeah.
Like low XG chances, like Justin just got at the end of those.
I mean, that was a
like,
stunning goal, though, Praz.
second one, yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
that
especially.
was he hit across that goal. You can't when you hit a ball like that, you know it's going in. Gorgeous
It was
goal.
sweet. It was sweet.
And it was a bit. I mean, for me personally, because I didn't have Raya, because I changed my mind because it was too much uncertainty. So it did make me laugh. For all of the headache, we tracked him traveling on the coach at the hotel. We tracked his sleep and his leg. But guess what? He still conceded 2 anyway. So yeah, whatever. But what do you think of the defense this week, Prez? Before I go into my midfield,
I think it's good. When you're done with this, I'm gonna ask you some questions on what
okay.
happens if you hear certain things. Because honestly, between you and me, I'm not too bullish on a Lewis start. Now that doesn't mean you shouldn't start him. I
Yeah,
think given when you make the Lewis bet, you make the bet to start basically, unless you hear otherwise, because either he starts or he doesn't come on. That's the hope. He
that's
could
the
come on,
hope. I was about to say he could possibly come on
but
now.
he played 90 minutes on Saturday. He played
Yeah,
90 minutes midweek. Walker didn't play. I think he came on very late.
yeah.
And
And he
so
didn't come on for Lewis, did he? He came on for Vardio, I think.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah,
you're if you were to think about minutes, Akanji came off, Diaz didn't start. So you could easily have a Walker, Akanji, Diaz, Guardiola back four. Like very possible.
I mean, but the way Pep talks about him, Praz, surely. I mean, that normally is a scary sight. When you see him, the praise he gave him after the Champions League game,
He
I did
got the
start
assist
thinking,
as well.
yeah, I did start thinking,
Yeah.
Praz, oh no, this is not looking good. He's going to get a rest. But then again, he's a youngster. He can't be tired. Surely he starts, Praz.
It's
But
not out of tired. It's just out of
I know, yeah, and they've got the quality on the bench. So why wouldn't you rotate? You know, keep your
exactly.
players fresh until it, you know. But so to answer your question, actually, if you're asking that, what would I do if I did find out Lewis? I don't know if I would still start him or would I play Mikalenko against Newcastle at
I
home.
mean, if he's not starting, of course you take him out.
You
play
have to,
Mikalenko.
yeah, you have to, because you're going to get the last 10 minutes from the defender, even though
But
he
this
plays
is
in midfield. It's no point.
no point. I mean, to be clear, this is only if you will hear he's not starting, which I think the base case is we're not going to hear. Like,
It's a 3 o'clock kickoff, isn't it, Saturday? So
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think we're going to hear. As Liverpool, we've got more chance. So as we come onto my midfield, that becomes more
yes,
relevant with Diaz. That question.
yeah.
So defense, I'm pretty optimistic as long as they start. Liverpool's fixture is decent, albeit it's at Sellers Park and I think it's the early kickoff.
It's
It's
the
not
early kickoff.
ideal. Yeah. But we might get the team leaks, but plus Liverpool, like you said, on form. Only lost 1 game this season. Decent performance against Bologna midweek. I watched that game and weird, not fully impressed, but when you get the win, it's the win, isn't it? So
Yeah, yeah.
midfield, we've got Diaz, who had a quiet game actually, and then Bumo, Semenyo, and Saka. So we spoke about earlier on, this is a money fixture for Saka. We need a return from him. Without a doubt, he's even potential captain candidate, which we'll talk a bit more in detail later. Semenyo's the star. He delivered on all of his statistics. He was excellent, and we was unlucky to not get more returns, but we take the goal.
Yeah. That assist was, man, like the assist that wasn't an assist.
Oh yeah, they took. Yeah, I
That
did
was
have a
heartbreaking.
feeling. It
Yeah.
was actually, yeah. Bumo, lovely fixture at home to Wolves, and now Diaz. So that question you asked me about Lewis, this is relevant because Liverpool have such good attacking players at slots got available to him. I did think. I mean, I tweeted midweek saying that I think it's going to be the same thing's going to happen. That Gakpo will come on for a midweek around 70th minute, and that's what happened. And then I think they're going to do the same. I'll be
Right.
surprised if he doesn't start.
Hmm.
I'll be surprised. What's your take on it? Do you think there's a big possibility he doesn't?
No, I think he starts as well.
I
Like
think so.
Slot has said a couple of times that he's the kind of manager who plays a similar team and
Yeah.
just does early subs rather than playing a Maresca style where you have a different 11. Remember when you play football manager? I don't know if you did it. I used to save a team my Europe team and my Premier League team and basically play 11 different so that all the squad is happy and rested and whatever. That's what he's doing. But anyway, I don't think Slot does
That's
that.
what
So
Chelsea done, by the way. Did you
that's
see
what I
their
mean.
team?
That's what yeah, that's what Maresca does.
Yeah,
But Slot doesn't do that. So I
nah.
expect Diaz to start. But what would you do if he doesn't?
I think I'm gonna go Rogers. For me, it's a simple one. I'll play him. I know you could argue 30 minutes of Diaz against Crystal Palace, who have had a very difficult start to the season, conceding chances. I'll take because it's a tricky one because even Rogers might be a bit of a minutes risk now as well, Perez. So yes, similar to Lewis, Young having a great season, but they played a big game against Bayern Munich midweek, and the minutes are starting to rack up for him. So, but I would play him. I would play him. Yeah,
And he's
definitely.
going to get a full week, 2 week break, right? I mean, I don't know if there's any under 21 matches or anything, but he's largely going to be on a break over the international break. So, look, I think we're recording this on a Thursday night. You
Yeah,
guys will hear it on a Friday. Sometimes there's also spanners just before an international break. Like a manager will say, "Oh, this guy has a niggle," so that he can be saved from international duty. Don't rule anything out. So, Rogers may be playing anyway. So we'll see.
so up top, Calvert-Lewin, who at one point in last week was disappointing. Haaland finally blanked Spurs. Most of us captained him last week. I mean, he still had 5 shots to be fair. So he wasn't like he was anonymous in the game, but Newcastle were very resilient, which we were all surprised by because they've been fumbling their way through this season and it
They
caught up with
have.
them the week before. But it was a good performance against City.
It
They done
was,
what they had.
and
Yeah.
look, at home they can be.
Yeah.
Remember last season when they put up those home performances against PSG, Dortmund. Now they're not the same team these days,
Yeah.
but look, they had it in their locker to have a performance like that, and fair enough. Like Haaland was going to blank at some point,
Exactly.
so
Exactly that.
it's fine if it's fine if that happens. He's played 58 minutes over midweek, so expecting him to start and do well in this game. This is why I'm also on Haaland captain.
Yeah, same. He's currently my bus captain, but we'll talk a bit more about that because there's other candidates as well this game week, not just for us, for other people as well. And so Haaland and Havertz, who almost, even though it was a horrible game week, it could have been even worse. Praz, he scored that last minute goal, which we were all happy about,
Yep.
and he's gone on to score as well. Excellent header against PSG, and I saw his statistics. I think that's
He was the
5
man of the
consecutive
match.
goals at home. Yeah, so he's been really good. Even when Arsenal tend to they don't have a wobble for the whole 90 minutes. They're too good. But when they have moments in the games, he's always there. He turns up. So I'm more than happy. The Arsenal triple up makes me a bit more confident for this game week. But that's the team defense. Well, sorry, I should say bench. Fabianski, Rogers first bench, Mikalenko, and Greaves is my third sub. So that's how I'm set up for this week. Praz, what are you thinking?
I think that's a fantastic team. There's no need for any FOMO. There's no need for any transfers. There's a deep enough bench that if Lewis is not playing, Mikolenko is fine. Home to Newcastle without
Yeah.
Isak. Rogers is fine if he comes on for Diaz if needed. What do you think between Rogers and Calvert-Lewin? We should talk about that.
That's exactly one I'd looked into that into another video I'd done, and I thought it was a lot of the statistics. So I think the predicted goals was Calvert-Lewin just won that. I think he had 4. Sorry, Rogers won that. He had 4, and Calvert-Lewin's 3 point something, a bit lower. Team scores as well. I think Aston Villa predicted to score more goals than Everton, so that's pretty tight as well. Form, you'd give it to Rogers. The only one I think, the one statistic that I think that, and it's quite a heavy one actually, is the penalty taking. We're uncertain with Rogers. I know he took them for the under 21s, but we're not sure if he's a Aston Villa penalty taker. Where we know Calvert Lewin is, and that does sit in my mind. It's that sways it almost for me. I think it's quite tight if I look at the numbers and whatnot. The fixture, Newcastle at home versus Man United at home. Sorry to say this, Prez. I think Manchester United is an easier fixture.
I'm sorry to agree with you.
Yeah, I think it's the way you're playing at the moment. Like we discussed it at the start of the video. You're conceding goals, and I think Aston Villa could punish you.
I'm with you. I'm with you. But the thing is, look, when we look at goals, right? So we expect Villa to score 2 goals, let's say, and Everton to score
Yeah.
1.4 goals.
Mhm.
But if Villa score 2 goals, Rogers' goal share is quite low in that. Like if Villa
Yeah.
score 2 goals, you'd expect Watkins to score a goal out of them. And then the rest is shared between anyone else could get a goal. It could be Onana,
Yeah.
it could be Tielemans, it could be Rogers, it could be Bailey or whoever. So that's why,
Duran, the sub-specialist, yeah.
or second goal is scored by Duran, exactly.
Yeah,
Whereas when Everton score, it's going to be McNeil or Calvert-Lewin. Like
yeah.
even McNeil, like before this, it was mostly he was creating. So this is why I think if you're going for a penalty taker in a team, even if they're expected to score fewer goals, it feels like a slightly better pick. Even though as a Man United fan, it's going to hurt double if Rodgers basically wipes out the Man United lead or clean sheet or whatever it is. But you got to play FPL taking out your team bias, right?
You definitely have to present. And for me at the moment, it was a tight one. As I said, I did look into about 4 or 5 statistics to see if it can make things a bit more clearer. But I think what you said as well, I'm in agreement. The penalty and the goals tend to go through Calvert-Lewin, albeit we know he's like a budget Haaland for Everton. You know, what I mean, everything kind of goes through him. McNeil last week was the star. I did frown upon that pick on the wild card, but fair play to whoever went there. But yeah, this is the team. I'm happy with it. Yeah, I'm comfortable for this game week.
Nice. And should we go to my team or should we talk about the matchups itself? Because my team is not very different. That's how it's been set up. So there's only a couple of nuances. Maybe
Let's
we'll
go
cover
to
that.
Yeah, let's have a look. It is very yeah. We ended up on a similar wild card actually.
So I have a slightly more expensive second bench and a more
Yeah,
expensive keeper. Basically, that's the main
yeah,
difference at the moment. So in my second bench, I have a Brentford defender because I think a lot of people have Flecken. So I wanted
yeah.
to have insurance. Like every time Lewis doesn't start, I want to have a Brentford defender that can match the Flecken. So that was my thinking. So I went with that. And Edison in goal. Now, the problem with going Edison in goal is I'm not 100% that Edison even starts. Like, like he didn't
Did you
start
see that
every.
back heel, Prez?
Yeah. This is why when I saw the back heel, I was like, what the hell are you doing, man? Do you want to get dropped like the first week after I get you on wildcard? So, in addition to all your dilemmas, if I hear Edison isn't starting, I have a major dilemma as well.
Yeah,
So I'll see. I'll see what I need to do. But apart from that, I think we've discussed. I agree with you on Calvert Lewin over Rogers. I agree with you on what to do with Diaz. I'll just play Rogers instead. If Lewis isn't starting, I'll be happy to play Pinnock. So that's where I am. The only way where I can see myself making a transfer is if two people aren't playing. Like let's say Trent isn't starting and Diaz isn't starting. Now I don't expect that to happen.
yeah.
But if Trent and Diaz both aren't starting, you can just because I have two free transfers, unlike other people.
Oh
I
yeah,
I can actually do a double move. I can do Trent and Luis Diaz to Palmer and a 4.0 like a Van VDB, whatever that guy is from Brentford, or something basically, or a Porro and a Son. So I can do that double move if both of them are not starting. If Edison isn't starting, again I'll have to do a double move. So Edison and Havertz will need to go to Raya and Solanke.
so you'd
So like
actually do that, yeah, Prez? You'd be forced into it. You wouldn't think just like goalkeepers. Sometimes goalkeepers are 2 points, Prez. Would you really not waste, but use your? Would it force your hand?
I would definitely do it.
You would
And I'll
force
tell you
it,
why.
yeah. Well, go on.
I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because guaranteed after this week, I'm going to do Havertz to Solanke. Guaranteed.
Okay. All right.
Like
Yeah.
there's no doubt in my mind that
Yeah.
that's a transfer
So
I'm
that's
going to
a
make.
locked-in transfer for you.
It's a
Unless
locked in
someone gets
transfer.
in. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Edison to Raya is a guaranteed transfer in 5-6 game weeks. Like I always wanted Raya instead for that slot. So all I'm doing is by basically if there is news that Edison isn't starting, I would basically be taking these two free transfers and using it for moves that I have locked in the future anyway. It would be a massive blow. I would be very disappointed if that happens. But I can't be stubborn. I can't throw points away and say, "Oh, Edison isn't starting. What the hell?" Because he couldn't start after international break as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It'd be too much of an unknown for you to carry, basically.
exactly. So why not just do the moves that I know that I will be doing in the next 6 weeks for free? So yes, Havertz could do very well, but Solanke could be fine as well. So I'm not saying I want to do it. I would be very hurt that I'm making two transfers, one of them involving a keeper a week after my wildcard.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I cannot be stubborn about it. That is if Edison is leaked not to start. Now I hope that's not the case. We're now going into areas which are not so likely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, like Trent and Diaz not starting to both of them not starting, that's going to be pretty unlikely, I would say.
Trent definitely. I mean, that would shock me if I'm honest with
Mm,
you, Price. The Diaz one, no problem. Gakpo's an incredible player, but
yeah,
Trent's one, and Bradley's very good, but no. I think
yeah.
Trent, no chance. He starts. He came off as well. So
I'm with you.
Slot's been doing that. He's looking. Once the game's won, he starts looking at the next game. So
And
no problem
remember,
at all.
the midweek before the Premier League game over the weekend, Diaz didn't play a minute. So it's not like
Yeah.
he needs to be rested, right? So
No.
he's got a full rest. And yeah, even in the scenario where Diaz is not starting and Lewis is not starting, I'll happily play Rogers and Pinnock.
Yeah.
Like I have that bench for a reason where, I'm happy with those guys if they play this week.
Same as me. And wanted to go back, you mentioned something earlier on. So just say Edison does play and he carries on and he's got gorgeous fixtures. Is your plan still to eventually change him to Raya?
By game week
Because
12, by
it,
game
why
week
wh-
10
why
or
is that? Because of the bonus points, or you think Arsenal's that far? Because we must remember, City, when City are on it, City's defense is incredible as well.
Yeah, but there's a difference in terms of their XG prevented, the saves that Raya makes, the bonus. Like, I just know long term I will be making that move.
But wasn't the
So,
bonuses prize mainly because at one stage,
look,
even though Arsenal's defense was incredible, they were freeing up quite a lot of shots. Maybe not dangerous shots, but from distance, because you can barely ever get into Arsenal's box. But
look, I'm not saying 100% I'll do it, but
yeah,
also then if I wanted to go for an Edison, if I don't want to go for a Raya, then I would have just spent less money in my defense.
okay. So that
So
was almost saving the money in that pot, just
the
in
idea
case.
was that I'll just park the money there.
Yeah,
Because later on things happen, right? Oh, I need to do Luis Diaz to get Palmer or whatever, and then I can take that money, I can use the funds, and then later you're struggling to get Raya, and then you never get Raya. So I
yeah,
didn't want to end up in that situation. So basically, I ended up with this setup. Plus, the next four, I think for City are better clean sheet fixtures than even Arsenal. So this is why I thought, look, everybody's going to go Raya plus Gabriel. Let me go Edison plus Gabriel. That'll give me Havertz as the extra edge for the first 2 weeks. And in the first week, it worked out. Like
yeah,
Havertz scored more points than Raya. If you just look at Arsenal,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
if you look at Edison versus Raya and Havertz versus Solanke, they scored the same number of points. In that case, it didn't work out. So it depends which perspective you take.
How you, yeah. Yeah, I think your team obviously same as mine. You're in a better position basically. I've got sales against Chelsea, so that's going to take a miracle. Where Edison, but you never know with Man City. they'll be winning three or
Exactly.
four. They will give away a charity goal, which is so frustrating for their
And they're
defensive
what, second
assets.
in clean sheet odds? Like go to Rob
Yeah,
G. I just want to
yeah,
see like um so this week, yeah, so Man City 46% clean sheet odds,
yeah,
Arsenal 55%, um, where is Brentford 29%, Liverpool 34%. So
yeah,
these are good clean sheet odds and also goal scored, right? Our double Arsenal has over 3 expected goals. That is
yeah.
huge.
It's good. It's really good.
Another reason why a lot of people are looking at a Havertz or a Saka captaincy. But Man City 2.65, you expect Haaland to be involved in at least one of those 2.65 goals, right?
So no, yeah, well, we know Holland's involvement in their attacking play is very high. It's normally like 30%, which is elite levels price. Basically, everything they do, anything attacking wise, he's going to be involved. So
Yeah.
that's what makes Haaland unique. But we have to say there are options this week. There were options last week. People were unlucky that went Saka. We discussed that earlier on of how the points went. But again, this week there are options. Even Salah is not. You might. We know we just said Haaland's incredible stats, like the predicted score near 3 goals. But Liverpool at Sellers Park, Salah's got an excellent record there.
Yeah.
So then we've got Palmer. Now we know it's a bit more of a tricky fixture, but they're predicted as well over 2 goals press.
Over two
And we
goals.
take a talisman. So there are options. I think that you could say 4 options this week: Haaland, Salah,
This will be
Palmer.
all these four options will be the options every week. And then you're going to add next week Foden and Son as well to this equation.
Yeah, well, Foden, we're not sure. I think we're all being optimistic. Does he? I mean, we're excited because the fixtures are there, and we want to triple up on City, so we're desperate. We don't trust, I suppose, Grealish, Doku, so we are looking for the. But do we trust Foden yet?
Well,
I
this
mean,
is
we
why
need to
I
see more.
tripled up.
Yeah,
I went double City defense because I felt this will be the narrative. Like people will hesitate to jump on Foden this week.
yeah,
A, because they'll carry one free transfer, so it's not easy to get to a Foden anyway.
yeah,
And B, I think the main reason why people won't do it is because next week, if you wanted to allocate 9.5 million, I would allocate it to Son. Like, have you
yeah,
seen Son's fixtures next week?
yeah,
Is home to West Ham, homes to
yeah.
Ipswich, home to Villa, and away to who is it? Crystal Palace, I think.
But you're mentioning Son. You've already allocated a transfer sale for Havertz to Solanke. Would you double up on Spurs with those fixtures?
Of
And if
course.
you would, yeah, and if you'd
Yeah.
rather spend Brennan Johnson, is he not someone we should consider? He's
He
doing
is.
pretty
He
well at the
is.
moment, cheap.
So this is why I want to wait on the Diaz move ideally this week, and then have a considered decision over the international break with
Yeah.
3 free transfers, which could include, let's say, a Diaz to a Brennan Johnson and Havertz to a Solanke, and that's it. Leave it and leave money in the bank. Or it could be something more complicated, which basically involves Diaz up to a Son and Trent down to a Porro. There's so many options. Like 3 free transfers, you're like playing so many variables in your team. You
Yeah.
can, we used to talk about a mini wild card.
Yeah.
I could do four transfers for a -4. That's like doing another wild card. So there's a lot, and especially when you're not changing other things, right? You're not changing the Boomos, you're not changing the Haalands.
Yeah.
So
Although we do want to change Semenyo, I suppose, or you just bench
could
him.
do, but then
He's
after this
someone.
week, Rogers is playable every week for 3 weeks,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
what I meant.
Semenyo has good fixtures again.
Yeah, I suppose so. You could do that. But with Foden, say he does become an option. So it's going to become a problem for you to get to him to your team, no, Pras?
No, I'll say good luck to those who are getting him. I'll get someone else. Like, there's enough good options in this game that I'm not too worried. Like, by game week 12, if people are intending to keep Haaland, then anyway, if you have Haaland and Palmer and let's say Saka, you
Yeah.
can't get much else. Like,
No,
you're not.
no
So
chance.
if you're going for a Foden, how long are you going for a Foden? For 3 weeks? You can have him for 3 weeks, no worries. Like, after Fulham at home, which was a good game,
Yeah.
it's Wolves away, Southampton at home, which are two very good
They're
fixtures.
very good. They're the money fixtures there.
But after that, it's Bournemouth away,
Yeah.
Brighton away. Okay, you can argue is good as well, but it's away. Then Spurs, then Liverpool. I don't want Foden for that. I could be wrong, and if my view changes by that time, anyway, I would have done Edison to Raya. So it's not like my funds are blocked there forever.
Yeah, I think that more depends on what you see from Foden regarding minutes and confidence, and also if City start like really on it.
Yeah.
Then you do start worrying. You're thinking you want another attacker in that fixture run there. That's the reason I say that to you, Brad. Like you, I've not really highlighted him as someone I want to jump on straight away. But the fixture run does make me want to have another City player.
Yeah,
but it's difficult. It's difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe get Savio next week. If he becomes an option, like there is no clear.
Nah, there isn't. Nah.
By the way, if this fixture ticker that you have, look where Chelsea is.
Yeah. Where are they? Right at the This is taking us up to 11, and it's this is ranked difficulty for both defense and attacks. It's covering sort of both.
Fair enough, but my point is that people can wait on Palmer if they need to wait, and you can come back to me with, "Oh, Chelsea will do well." Come on, like we don't know yet how they will do against Liverpool.
All I'm saying to you, Praz, he's starting to look like one of those players. Now, I've discussed but the point is, we might have lost out on loads of points before we get there because
or maybe we don't.
But when you compare him and Saka, Saka's the kind of player that he'll give away a penalty. It's okay, my friend, you take it. As long as he's winning, he's happy. Where Palmer starting to look like one of those players, even if they win 4-0, he needs a goal or an assist for him to be happy. He's a stats person. So that's what I like about him. That's the reason I say this, why it has come into my mind. Not just on the FOMO from last week. We know we're not getting 4 goals again. But if you look at Palmer and Saka as an asset, maybe maybe even in these difficult fixtures, let's see what he does this game week here, Press. I reckon the FOMO is going to increase big time after Nottingham Forest.
Fair enough, and I will still wait. Okay, I can't say 100%, but all I'm saying is I'm not buying him before away to Liverpool. I would be very surprised if I do that. Now, we'll see. There could be injuries that changes things. Like if Haaland gets injured, suddenly there's money to blow, right? And then you can do things with it. So there are circumstances that change things. But I'm just saying, suddenly, if he doesn't score 24 points or whatever he scored, and he just scores a goal and an assist and gets a 12-pointer, Saka also gets about 7-8 points. We're not even having this discussion.
I agree. I'm in agreement with you there. But I have to be devil's advocate and ask these questions, Press, to see.
Absolutely.
Get into to see your thinking, because you're right, because he was after a wild card, Press, we tend to know it's normally a slow week, unless we've got major injuries, which touchwood we've not had done, although the European fixtures are practically all done. So we've been okay there.
Exactly.
And Palmer's the only sort of topic of discussion after the wild card, because he went off. No one sort of expected. Have we overestimated Brighton's defense, Press? Because that was a bit of a shocking. They gave away, as good as Palmer is, some of those goals were a bit shocking.
Yeah, but we didn't know Veltman and Van Heck are injured, right? I mean, that was news that came out after the deadline. Not that if that news came out, we would have all bought Palmer.
Yeah,
but the fact that the manager himself has now learned that he cannot play that way when Van Heck is a quick defender. He's their best defender.
Yeah.
So when he's not there, you cannot just replace player Webster and then play in the same way. And hopefully we see that against Spurs. Like they're less adventurous. Otherwise, Johnson is going to blow them apart.
Yeah, even well, I was about to say Werner. He's going to run past them, but he won't score, obviously.
He won't
But
score. This is why
yeah,
I'm bullish on Son. If he starts, like if you watch the Man United game, Werner could have scored a brace,
yeah, I
a number of
saw.
chances.
Yeah, yeah,
And
he was.
and if that was Son playing there,
He scores them.
Son scores 15 points, and everyone's talking about getting Son instead
But
of
does
Palmer.
Son getting? I was thinking exactly when I was watching that match. I was thinking, you know what? What a gifted athleticism that Werner has. He's a running machine. Like, but then when he gets near the box, we know
Yeah,
he ain't got it. But would have Son got into those positions? Probably not, though, Prez.
that was Man
Like,
United. He
yeah,
definitely did. Yeah,
I know it's Man United, but the legs you needed. Don't forget who was he up against? Was it Idalo on the right
yeah.
hand side?
No,
Yeah,
Mazraoui.
Mazraoui, yeah, he's not a slouch as well, but Werner's running power. I don't think Son's got that running power no more, but I agree. If he's in the end of that, then it's a goal, yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean, go back to your fixture ticker. Look at Son's fixtures after this week, and look at Palmer's next four. Like, go different. Be bold enough to go different. Home to West Ham, home to Aston Villa, home to
Gorgeous
Ipswich, away to
fixtures.
Crystal Palace.
Lovely fit. And I
Compared to
like
away to Liverpool, home to Newcastle, away to Man United with a new manager, and home to Arsenal.
I
It's
just
very
think
different.
it's very different. And a lot of people won't go on him because mainly because if you're thinking of Spurs, I think you think the order is what's his name? Solanke up top. And now maybe Johnson with his price ranges coming into people's mind as well.
Yeah.
Son maybe he's third in contention. I think Poro's kind of calmed down at the moment. So that's the players I think
Could
of
do
when I'm
that.
thinking.
Could do that. Could do that. Like I'm not ruling out. I think Johnson is a good pick as well. But if you are going Johnson, then it's very hard to accommodate a Saka, Johnson, Palmer,
Yeah,
Semenyo, Rogers. I mean, you could, but
it's hard.
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
Let's wait this week and then we see where we go.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm in agreement with you. I think we're both boyish. I had a quick look at predicted points for my team, so your team will be even higher if it was around using the scout members area, Braz, and mine was
Oh, look at
predicted
that.
around.
Nice plug.
Hey, you see, come on, man.
I'm a veteran now.
And I think I was predicted around 63, 64 points, and that's with sales in goal. So you almost should be further up there as well with Edison.
I am on. So I'm looking at review 65.6.
Okay,
Not bad.
it's not bad at all. Compared to last week, Praz, we will take that.
We will take that, but ultimately it's all relative. If we score 65 and teams with Palmer score 100, then we're still screwed. So it doesn't matter how much we score.
See, I can tell Palmer's still in your head, Praz. You've
No.
mentioned him.
Why
He's in
won't
your
he
head.
be?
No,
Why
he's in
won't
your
he be?
head. He's actually in your head, Praz. You've mentioned him more. I bought him to you, but now he's rent free. If he does damage against Nottingham Forest, your free transfers in the what's called international break, you're going to use their watch.
I will use them, but not on Palmer. Triple Spurs. Triple Spurs is coming in over the international break.
Well, cool. I think, to be honest, we've summarized all the talking points for this week. As I said, it's normally a bit of a quiet week after wildcard. A lot of us shouldn't have to make moves, so I'm pretty content. Praz, is there anything else you wanted to go through for this week?
No, I wish everybody the best of luck. Don't knee jerk. Don't panic if there are last minute leaks. Go into the international break with 2 or 3 free transfers. It's a beautiful feeling. You can make even early transfers and still sit comfortably. I think do that.
All right, on that note, I'm going to wish you good luck and see you next week.
Take care, everyone.